Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Couch Coaching. We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys for the 2012 season. We're going to break down their weeks 1 through 4 matchups. Again, I'm Vincent. This is Jimmy. And right now we're going to talk about their record for their first three preseason games. And their record was 2-1. The first team they're going to be playing week 1 will be on a Wednesday night instead of a Thursday night because of the presidential address. And they'll be playing the Super Bowl champion New York Giants, which my partner here picked to win the Super Bowl only because Gronkowski dropped the pass. I'm just saying. Dropped a touchdown pass. But again, the Cowboys will be playing the New York Giants. And Jimmy's going to talk about the offensive numbers that they match up and how they match up against each other.
All right. For the Week 1 matchup, Dallas against New York. This is off of NFL 12 Network. The offensive comparisons for Dallas and New York. Dallas has 335.3 yards. New York's got 256. Their rushing yards, Dallas has 80. New York has 83. Passing yards, Dallas has 255.3. And New York has 173. Their points going in, Dallas is at 14.3. New York is at 24.7. Now I'm going to stop right there and I'm just going to talk about the offensive comparison to both of these teams. When it comes to the whole rushing, I think that both defenses, what that's telling me is it's going to be almost a defensive game.
Right.
With their passing, Dallas is doing more through the air. I don't feel like they're running the ball as well as they should be and as well as they could be. But with Dez Bryant on the outside and Miles Austin,
if he gets healthy.
Right. So I mean it's going to be a good game when it comes to defense. I'm not seeing a big blowout for the offense, but for the defensive comparisons, Dallas is at 275 yards given up, and New York's at 249.7 given up. So allowing the rushing yards, Dallas is only allowed 93.3. New York's allowed 105.
And these are last year's stats, and I feel like the Dallas Cowboys defense should be better this year. And I think that the Giants defense is what it is. Their front four is nasty. So I think that their defense will be good as well. I think the running game for the Cowboys will actually be better this year because they're not so wishy-washy in the backfield. Their starting running back is going to be DeMarco Murray, and that's it. Felix Jones will spell him when he needs a rest, but DeMarco Murray is going to be the man. They looked good in their third preseason game. The Cowboys did. They have this kid, Ogletree looked good, and I forget the other kid's name.
Harris.
Yeah, Harris. Thank you. Harris looked good this last week too. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with those guys, especially being that Miles Austin has not been on the field this entire preseason. They did a good thing by getting the fullback from the Texans, Lawrence Vickers. I think he'll be able to open up some bigger holes for DeMarco Murray. But the biggest problem I think that Dallas is going to have in this Week 1 matchup is missing Jason Witten.
Yeah.
Well,
they're saying that Jason Witten is supposed to be there for Week 1. You're not going to see him anymore in the preseason.
No. Because
of his spleen. It was a lacerated spleen. They don't have to go in and do any kind of surgery, so it's just going to heal itself. So that was the plus. That he had surgery, he'd have been out for the rest of the season, and He wouldn't be there at all. So if he's not there for Week 1, it's not a big run out and and really cause havoc. I mean, if he's not there for Week 1, he'll be there for Week 3. Which is
hopefully by then, right?
Yeah, I mean, so if you look at it, I mean, Week 3 still ain't that big of a deal either. I mean, you still got the rest of the season. So
Jimmy, what are your predictions for that Week 1 matchup? Because I feel like that Week 1 is going to be a real interesting game. I kind of feel like I think the Cowboys have enough. I'm gonna say this. The skill positions is not the problem for the Cowboys. What their problem is, like it was last year, is still going to be the offensive line. And I don't know if that offensive line will be able to hold up in New York, opening the season, So I feel like the Giants will win that game.
I mean, let's just go back to the game they had to win last year against New York. I mean, they were both, it was a must-win game for both of them to get into the playoffs. New York stepped up. Their defense was dominant. My feeling is Tony Romo, and if there is any Cowboy fans and you feel differently than what I feel, please be free to tell me. Tony Romo to me just is not that quarterback that I would want. On paper, he's great. On paper, he can do anything. In real life, under the pressure, I don't see it. I really think New York's going to come out on top on this one.
I think they'll come out on top of it, but I don't think it's going to be because I think New York is going to win the game. But I think it's going to be have more to do with the fact that offensive line is still a patchwork O-line. So I think we're both in agreement that the New York Giants should win this Week 1 matchup.
Yeah, I agree. I think New York should easily be 1-0.
Okay, so New York will be 1-0, but the Cowboys will be 0-1. So We're going to go to the next matchup that they'll be having against the Seattle Seahawks. And this is a very intriguing matchup to me. Now, if you don't know already, which I'm pretty sure you will by the time we put the video on, is that Terrell Owens, he was let go today. He was let go by the Seahawks, so he's no longer a Seahawk. So they have Braylon Edwards, Sidney Rice, and I think Golden Tate as their wide receiver.
I did not know that.
But, he was let go today. So the interesting thing is going to be that who's going to be the starting quarterback? Is it going to be Matt Flynn or is it going to be Russell Wilson? Now, I don't think we have to stay here that long because I don't care who is going to be the quarterback there. I feel like the Cowboys are going to win this game.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see anything with the Seahawks that impresses me. Although Pete Carroll does have 2 more pranks that he's already got working up on his sleeve that he's going to pull on the team in a team meeting. I honestly feel that the whole quarterback situation, if you don't have a quarterback going into Week 1, then, I mean, it's just going to cause that division because I feel Matt Flynn is a good quarterback. I also feel that Whitehurst is a good quarterback. I mean, but what has Pete Carroll done? He's went out and picked up Tavares Jackson. He's got Flynn. He's got Whitehurst. He's picked up 2 backups from another team. And now you've got Whitehurst as well. So it's like, who do you want to start?
My co-host and I, we tend to disagree. We will agree to disagree that it's very hard to find a starting quarterback in the NFL, a franchise quarterback. We're not going to stay on this subject that long.
Okay.
But it's very difficult. I feel like, again, I don't care if it's Russell Wilson, Matt Flynn, hell, bring Warren Moon out the booth. I don't care who is starting for Seattle Week 2. I feel like the Cowboys will win that matchup.
I agree. I do. But again, we will agree to disagree because I feel that in the division that they're in, it's a very light division.
Right.
I think that if any quarterback you get, you've got to stick behind them.
Right.
I mean,
if you got 2 good quarterbacks,
I mean, what they went to the playoffs at 7-9 last season?
No, year before last.
Right. Year before last. Right. So who else can you name went into a playoff game 7-9?
But they won it, so it doesn't even matter.
Well, I'm just
whether you're 7-9 or not, they won it. You're exactly right.
Well, I mean, so who did they have to like? They didn't have to go win 10 games.
Right.
I mean, so yeah, we'll just agree to disagree.
Okay, the Cowboys' Week 3 matchup will be against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have a whole new regime in. I think the head coach's name is Shiano. Used to be the Rutgers head coach. They looked pretty good through the preseason. This last game, the last preseason game that Tampa Bay had, Freeman looked a little sporadic. He was underthrowing, throwing behind receivers. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that because before last year, I mean, he was destined for greatness. And then, he had a lot of turnovers last year. They went out, the Buccaneers went out and got Vincent Jackson. They got this, they got a new running back. I think his name is Martin. I think his last name is Martin. That they're going to run with LeGarrette Blount. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with them going forward. I feel like that the Dallas Cowboys will win that game as well. So I have them right now at 2-1.
I'm actually looking for the Tampa Bay to take this one. The only reason is because a lot of people are going to estimate them. knowing that Josh Freeman. But I like Vincent Jackson. I think that Vincent Jackson still has, some time left in the NFL. I like their defense. Even though last year their defense wasn't ranked all that great, they gave up 345 yards average. I mean, I don't see them giving up that much. I honestly think that the Tampa Bay could probably easily pull this one off.
So you're going to say that Tampa Bay's going to win that game?
I think Tampa Bay's going to win this game.
So you have the Cowboys after week 3 being 1-2?
Yeah.
And I have them being 2-1. Now, we're going to go to the most intriguing matchup to me would be the Chicago Bears. And with the Chicago Bears adding Brandon Marshall, bringing Jay Cutler his weapon back, and Brandon Marshall has been outstanding in the preseason. And then with them bringing back Matt Forte and him signing that contract, it's going to be real interesting to see what happens, especially with the offensive philosophy has changed. It's not, protect the quarterback first, run the ball, and then we'll be looking for the big plays. This will be the Cowboys' second home game. I'm kind of like, it's a toss-up for me. I'm going to have to go with, and this is a Monday night game on top of that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go with the Cowboys on this one. I think that they'll have enough to get it done.
I don't. I really like Chicago Bears in this matchup. You've got Brandon Marshall, who can just, is still a great wide receiver.
He's a beast.
Not only do you have Matt Forte in the backfield, you also got Michael Bush. Michael Bush has looked phenomenal during this preseason game. Every opportunity he's had, he's exploded.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly think that even with the defense Dallas has, I really can honestly see Chicago Bears taking this one off. And the only other reason why I say it is because it's a Monday night game. It's going to be a lot of pressure.
But it's going to be at Dallas.
I understand that.
Yep.
But what I'm saying, though, is it's going to be pressure. So here's the thing. It's a Monday night game. You've got Tony Romo under pressure. I honestly feel that the Chicago Bears defense is just going to stop whatever they want to do. I honestly think Chicago Bears is going to take this one. Because I like the wide receiver. I like the 1-2 punch that they have with the running game. I honestly think that all the defense has really got to do is just stop a couple of key drives here and there. I can honestly see Chicago Bears taking this one.
So, through their Week 4 matchup, I have them being 3-1. Jimmy's going to have them being 1-3. You see he's a big Cowboy fan. I mean, I think he's letting his
I'm thinking of facts.
Facts. He says facts. I say fiction. But all joking aside, we love doing this for you guys. Feel free to leave your comments and friend us on Couch Coaching 12 at Facebook. And again, we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Holla.